Hello, you are listening to this because you're probably thinking about a framework for your business and you might be wondering, why do frameworks work? Well, I've got a quick presentation just to take you through so you could share with your team as well and really think about, is this something you'd like to do for your business, and what variety of support would you like from myself, Susanna Reay? So here we are in the business world where we're at this combination of, we need to do content, we need to do strategy, and we need to do marketing. But where you want to be drawing from every day is right at the heart. And what can really help with this is, at this intersection, everything comes together. And this is what we use frameworks for, is to help us know what that is. So your whole business is singing from the same hymn sheet, and it really frees up time, not only for you, but your team, your VAs, and your community as well. But let's go back a bit in time, because humans have been sharing their big philosophical ideas, not just business ideas, through frameworks for centuries. In fact, the Tree of Life is one of the very first, and it's occurred across cultures as philosophers of the time tried to explain how we came about and the interconnectivity of things. So why a tree? Well, our minds love to pick up on the familiar. Our brains are wired to prefer simplicity. And at every conference or webinar that you attend, you will see frameworks in action by speakers who are successful business owners. Some are better, some are worse, I'll say that now. But what I do notice is, the moment a speaker, particularly if they're in the business of transformation, shares a framework, that's the moment the phones come out. People start making notes because they're going, oh, great. This is going to be a simple way for me to remember the essence of this talk, the essence of what this person shares. That essence I call your signature solution. And with frameworks, when your ideas become teachable, they're able to be shared widely and support the journey others wish to travel on. So your ideas might well last through centuries, like the Tree of Life, which means even after you've gone, that, your framework survives. But it can be your legacy. It's the basis of your book. And potentially it means you'll not only earn money while you sleep, but also when you're dead. Not so useful for you, but your family will benefit. So yeah, think to yourself, is this of interest? Now, you might be wondering, why am I, Susanna, so passionate about frameworks? What got me onto this as well? Well, the thing is, you'll take me back in October 2015 that this image shows on the left. And I was pondering the very same question of, how can I get there to where I see other people being successful? What is the difference between what I'm doing and what they are doing? And success leaves clues. And it's one of those things that, as I went along, I realized I needed to get out of head and start drawing what it was I was doing. And I did this first in Golden Visibility for Introvert Entrepreneurs, which was my first ever course I put out into the world. And in it, as I am a visual designer as much as a business coach, I was naturally drawing out the ideas and sharing them. So it was really simple for people to understand. And I progressed this deeper into my signature offer system and my mastermind programs at the time. Now, I was going along and doing all of this, and I was talking to my masterminders, and it got to a point, it was a very dull February morning, and I was wondering, why are people not taking action? And I was talking to my masterminders, and then I realized that they needed to draw out the frameworks for their business, and we started doing that right there and then. And what also happened is, one of my clients, very rightly, and this is where I get humbled, and aren't your clients just the best people in the world? I know mine are. And that's where they said, Susanna, where's your framework? Where's your framework for your business? How have you developed this to this point? And that is when I sat down and I drew out the Introvert Way roadmap, the framework to how I'd created my business successfully as an introverted entrepreneur. And it was from doing this that I managed to write and publish my book in 6 weeks. And it was at this point that the birth of Sparkle Frameworks was born, as I realized the importance of everything I'd been doing since I was a kid, that I was sketching these things out in my homework books, that they help things become teachable. When they're teachable, they're shareable. And when they're shareable, you become really impactful in your business. And that was when everything hit off for me, and I won awards. I got featured in magazines and speaking on stages. And there's nothing more I love right now than working with frameworks for my clients. And I've done frameworks for life coaches, energy healers, and psychologists, all the way through to doing frameworks for some very logical left brain stuff like driving instructors, crypto coaches, financial coaches, and sales trainers. Because quite frankly, a framework is a must for everyone. Now, briefly, what do I mean by a framework? Because at its simplest, it's a skeletal outline connecting ideas together. And there are 3 development steps I take my clients through. The first is we simplify. We get down to the core element of your business. And remember, the good news is if you can make something simple, it's understandable. And if it's understandable, it's repeatable. So then we solidify on the method that you use and how you use that to serve your clients. We map out the journey that you take your clients upon. And then we amplify this. We amplify your ideas, sharing the impact with others. Now, this process does take time, and the visual framework process, if you're thinking about wanting to work with me, come into this world, is we start by understanding what is happening in your world, in your business. Then we go into ideation and we think about, well, how could your ideas, your solutions show up? And this is a really beautiful brainstorming time where I will naturally, on a call with us from the very first 10 minutes, I will be drawing out what I see you are saying, because I visualize what you are saying geometrically in visuals. That's kind of my superpower. So this is where we then move into cementing it into visuals, and we get more graphical. We can use things like Canva, Keynote, PowerPoint. All of these are possible, so you can make presentations like this and work and talk people through your ideas, because that brings connection, and making it interactive is a really important element of this. And from connection becomes action, and that action, if you're a business owner, is going to create the sales. And this is where I'd like to just share one of my frameworks that I've developed with you, so you can see how interactive this is and how you could maybe think about doing this for your business, your solution, your offers. So the Spark to Scale Profit Pyramid is what I know is in every journey a business owner makes, particularly in marketing, there are 6 stages they pass through, and some get stuck for a long time at different levels and they don't realize what is missing. And one of those levels is trepidation. It's at the base, and what's happening here is people are focusing on the self. Who am I? And they're coming from a place of fear, of scarcity, and inaction. And then with time, they kind of lean into intuition. But at this point, because they're quite indecisive and they're not connecting, this is the area I call spaghetti marketing. They're basically throwing stuff out there and just hoping something sticks. And it takes a while, because not only are you confused as a business owner, but you're also confusing your audience. So no one knows what you sell or what you do. The moment we bring frameworks in, which is structure, is you start to feel you've got some clarity that's been achieved, and credibility and momentum drives this along the way. From this, you can start getting more organized and putting operations and processes in place as you become aligned and automated. And this confidence is then mirrored with growth and engagement with your audience, who really trust and respect what you do. Which brings us to rapport. You are really influencing and attracting the transformations. You are relevant to your audience, and your audience and your community is growing and thriving. And then at the very top, we reach the field of plenty. This is when you're in flow and you're acting with conviction, and there's real connection and influence along the way. So what I would normally do is when I'm sharing this with people, I'd ask them to share in the chat. Where are you? Where do you see yourself right now on this journey? And you start getting real engagement when you're running online masterclasses, in particular with this, which, to be honest, so many people, it can be quite a yawn fest. But the fact of the matter is, the impact, the ignition point for every business I've worked with is when we've sat down and developed their unique frameworks. That is when traction happens, because it's way easier and faster when you've got a framework in place. You might have found yourself already going above the framework stage, but you get to the top and you're falling back to the bottom again because you haven't got those established foundations. The frameworks are the scaffolding that support your business, and they cover strategy, services, marketing, and more. In fact, everything that's needed to grease the wheels of a business. And without that scaffolding, it is a very wobbly foundation. So in quick summary, Sparkle frameworks support your business growth they supply marketing focus. They help you understand your client beliefs and drivers, and also format thoughts and ideas in a way that brings them to life with your clients. But not all frameworks are created equal. And there are many that honestly are yawn worthy and give the opposite effect that you're looking for. So how do we do? What do we need to look at? Well, there's 5 core elements that I will ensure are woven into frameworks for your business. The first is their visual. They need to follow your brand. They need to be eye-catching. They need to be relatable and readable. They also have to reflect your values, your vision, your passion, your purpose, your core concept of your business. They've got to be vocal. You've got to be able to speak your way through them and call out to your perfect people and be relatable. Frameworks are not static, they're interactive. And we look at connecting it to your vehicle. Your vehicle is the business offer, the product, the services, which bring that income into your business so you can facilitate the impact you wish. And this is where it's really important that they're based on a valid process. It's trusted and proven. You've earned your stripes with your clients. So we've got something to pull on. We've got that research. We've got the authority of you, of being the expert in your area that we can now amplify and elevate. So in summary, overall with Sparkle Frameworks, and I'm going to share a few examples in a moment that you can look through. And with this video as well, click and pause as you need to look at different elements. But Sparkle Frameworks, they clarify your message. They can identify your people. They display your offers. They can engage your audience, connect with your clients, convert listeners into buyers, information into sales. They can open up opportunities, and most importantly, they expand your impact. So everything I've shown you so far in this presentation has been a Sparkle framework as well, of different varieties. But here is an offer framework for my signature offer sprint that I created as well. And having a simple map, a step-by-step process that gives the overview of the journey your clients will come on when they come into your world and join your membership or your course or your retreats or whatever else is happening is really important to let them see what is going to happen along the way. Managing expectations is the biggest reason why people don't get sales. So it's understanding and developing. And together what we look at is your messaging, but also in line with images that reflect you and your business and your personality. Some client frameworks here that I am sharing on screen these are people who've helped develop them themselves. So I have a simple clarity offer pack, and in this, you can look and develop these yourselves. So the simpler frameworks are those that have worked on their own. The spiral here, this was a client that we worked out what it was, and then she outsourced it to a graphic designer to go further because she felt she didn't want to go quite that far. But what it did is Dana Gita of Ava Academy, the AVA, this is the spiral, she'd struggled for years to sell even her low-end service offers. But when we worked together to create this framework for her main offer, and when she used it on her next launch, she made over 20K and was blown away from the difference the frameworks could make. Prior to that, she was only selling, if she was lucky, a €49 offer. So 20K blew her away. And here's what she found. It enabled her to speak at the perfect level of interest to not overwhelm her clients. And it helped her clients to follow her process and understand what she was selling and the immense value within. So they were no longer saying thank you and goodbye, but where do I sign up? I have a few more simpler versions here as well. They're all showing, and there's different graphical ways we can show the journey that your company moves along. So we've got, there's simple roadmaps, there's flowers where that's blossoming because it's the mind flower journey. There's the progression pyramid where people are going towards a pinnacle. Or there's 3 ways where people combine their skills and pull them together. There's many graphical ways we can show your expertise. Also, we go beyond that. When we are looking at sales pages, it's not just about sharing your offer framework. As you can see, there's Mark's here. He's got his victory program. He has the ladder that people move up to climb their way to victory. But we also look at how can you create effective mock-ups so people can understand the value of what you're sharing. Because quite often in the digital age, it's really hard to show that. And another client, Jane Abbott here as well, is I go in and we look at your buyer personas or your client archetypes, as I have a habit of calling them. And again, this is another interactive framework. It looks really simple here. It's based on the Boston Matrix. And we look at 2 axes that you affect your clients with and where they might be along that journey. And there is a method on how you present this in presentations as well. And it gets you so much engagement and your clients really start just connecting with you and really enjoying what they're doing. Now, the best way to get started with me is we always kickstart with a deep dive session. And with this, I'd like to share here, Kerry, this is her thoughts as we came out of, this was one 90-minute session.
Just finished a session with Susanna Reay. Oh my goodness, so valuable. So this may not make a lot of sense to you. Check it out. It makes a ton of sense to me. And I'm going to be prettifying this, if that's even a word, on some website tools that Susanna and I talked about. But really, if you were thinking about all of the brilliant ideas you have and knowing that they sort of need to be put in some cohesive manner so that you can pitch it to your clients and explain the journey you're going to take them on, that's called a framework. And Susanna Reay is like game changing. I have a PhD. I know theoretical frameworks. I've written on this stuff, but I was stuck when it came to my business on how to sort of take these really great ideas and put them in a cohesive visual as well as sort of a logical manner to put people through what I'm going to offer them and what I offer. And so now I'm leaving just one session with Susanna feeling like I'm more empowered to pitch what I can do for clients. It's logical, it's cohesive, and I really think it is capturing sort of the talent and the service that I bring to the world. So do it. It's going to be worth it. And you're going to feel inspired and lighter like I do right now. So thanks so much, Susanna. Your Sparkle framework is the bomb.
So that was really lovely of Carrie to share that. And in fact, she went on and wrote her book based on this framework. So a year later, she was doing, well, over that year, she took this framework around the country, doing keynotes across the USA. She published her book, Leading Out of the Ask Cold Trap. We got that trademarked. It's now got the registered R of the trademark in it. And this framework that we went through in the session is the basis of the whole book, which is now a 260-page book that she's gone into in depth about her leadership solutions. So something that looks simple provides this amazing framework for your own business and how you can leave that legacy and really make an impact that goes further afield. Now, lastly, I do have a slide here. This was more to show you how, with the Venn diagram effect, that what we do to look at this and how we can help this in your business. And this is one I share for clients wishing to look at how to really develop their own business. Is the 3 areas I am super focused on with all my clients are connection, where we're looking at the magnetic messaging as well, because your message is so important. Your content, that's your whole offer portfolio. Do they all connect? Do they make sense? Do they come together? And your container, and the container is about your smooth systems, how everything moves together. And what we do is, what happens is, if you don't have that container, the smooth systems in place, you end up feeling frazzled. And if you don't have the connection element in piece, you end up really fraught because you don't know where your next client is coming from. So we need to make sure your messages are connected. And if you don't have the content, it's fruitless because you don't have anything to sell that actually works. So you might make the best course in the world, but hey, we need to have it there so we're connecting and the container brings it all together. And that is where we pull everything together. So if you've got 3 areas of focus that you work on your business, then the Venn diagram is a super simple way for us to get started. But it's not just what's in the 3 circles. It's what's happening at the intersections and what you're providing and what is missing when people aren't having things along the way. And with this, I normally in presentations, I would say, hey, you can go across and take my Business Spark quiz. And again, it's about getting more interaction. Hopefully this short presentation has given you a really good idea of why frameworks work and a lot of examples of how they can work for you and your business. And if, like Kerry, you'd love me to give you that support and clarity and create those frameworks for you in your business, then let's talk. Let's talk and get this moving for your business today.